July the 25th, 2024. As you're looking at satellite images this afternoon over the continental U.S., notice in the bottom right corner, we've got some Saharan dust coming in that dust layer. That always interferes with development of hurricanes and tropical systems in the Atlantic. But it has its cycles just like the hurricanes. We're about to go into August in just a week, and that's really when things start to ramp up. But what I'm doing a video about is, we mentioned it a couple of videos ago about the fires in the north and into Canada, guys. These are amazing images. If you look at California, and I'm going to zoom in, I'm just giving you a wide look right now because from California here, Oregon and Washington, you're seeing fires. Some of the largest now, you're looking at about 250,000 square acres. That's a lot of territory. And if you look right here into California, and we're going to pull this up, you see those, Oregon and Washington. But look at the discoloration here in these clouds, guys. Look right there. What is this, Alberta? Right in this area, I think it is. But look at that, and all of that's being pushed down across the U.S. through the central sections, just like we saw last year. The thickest now is coming over the Great Lakes as far as coming across the border. Look up here, guys. All of our friends in Canada, that we're going to zoom in on this and take a look at it. Guys, I've seen a lot of satellite images in the last dozen or so years. I've never seen a fire like this. You're looking at the U.S.-Canadian border along the bottom of the screen. Got Alberta, Saskatchewan in here. But look right here. It starts to get daylight. Look at what it's doing in the upper atmosphere, guys. These are the upper levels of the clouds that we're talking about here. And overnight, starting this morning, right there. Look at that. I've never seen that type of density ever before. Now, guys, they have locked up someone in California. They will not give his name or his country of origin. 41 years old, and people saw him. He had a car that was on fire that he was pushing over the side of the cliff, and that's in one of the bigger fires. So some are saying that these can be caused by lightning. Others will say that it's by heating of the ground, by lava. Whatever it is, I've never seen one quite like this. But I feel like because of the arrest that we're seeing, we're having no name or nationality yet, that we are under attack a little more than we were last year. And we're just now cranking up to seeing some of these fires. But all the videos I did last year on the Canadian fires, never have I seen that much concentration of that dark brown gray smoke. But we're under attack. Remember in World War II, Japan, I think it was trying to send balloons over that would catch the Northwest on fire. They were flammable balloons, or they were carrying a load that would flame up when it impacted. And it's almost like we're seeing that again. For some reason, people want these areas depopulated. But you got a lot of timber, you got a lot of oil in these regions that we're looking at. And if you think about it, if another nation or another group wanted to take over the mineral resources, they could handle a little fire as long as it got the people out of there, and then they could come in and tap into the resources that were left, especially underground. Then you got, again, timber, oil, gas, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of different things in this area. But look at that, guys. That's amazing. You should take a screenshot of that right as it starts to get intense, about right in there, because I've never seen it, and I doubt you have either on this scale. Look at that. It's unbelievable. Now let's take a look at the Northwest. You got a lot of moisture offshore, guys. It's not getting ashore yet. You can see it's some kind of front here stopping this, probably the high pressure area that's helping to ignite these fires. Look at Northern California right there. Now, the Chico region, which may be a little further south, we'll take a look at that too. That's one of the larger fires, but look at the smoke is carrying across Oregon. You've got Washington. There's smoke here piling up. But if you look right there at how much is built up overnight, as the sun has come up through the day, the winds have increased, and it's starting to clear some out, but it's intensifying the ones along the ridge here in Northern California. up in some areas of some big reservoirs in that area. Now, dropping into the full California view, you can see where this front is pushing down and blocking all your moisture. That means this is not going to get better very soon, so be prepared for that. This thing is rapidly intensifying. Check that out right there, Northern California. Now let's move closer, but look at central or south central Canada. Look at this amount of smoke. This is coming up from the fires we're watching. Coming back down, what is this, Hudson Bay, into the U.S. across the Great Lakes. And guys, not only that, here in the south, it's been raining and overcast is very nice, but if you look outside now, you'll see that yellow tint, and that is the Saharan dust layer. Now, I'm doing this at 5:40 p.m. Central Time, but right now it's very obvious. You can see it's a yellow tint, almost like you have forest fire smoke in your area. But, again, check that out. Look at that coming right through the center of the screen here, there, and pushing up another entire area. Now, the bad part about it, again, looking into the Pacific Ocean, the front's blocking your moisture. Anything that you can get coming down from Canada, except for the smoke, may be helpful. You just keep your eyes on the weather. But if you're in an area, which, by the way, they are evacuating entire areas now. But if you're in a rural area and you don't know if you're going to be evacuated or not, or even if you think you will be, clean up any debris in your area. Any old bushes, cut the grass, whatever you got to do. Get the flammables away from the home. That's going to make it a lot easier on you or a fire department to try to calm down the situation. Just think about that. And a quick look at the central U.S. Notice the very dense clouds are coming in over the Great Lakes now, and that is very thick coming in out of Canada in this area. But it's very hazy here, and if you look at the pollution map of the U.S., actually of the world, enough of it's being trapped into Denver, guys, that it's the most polluted city on the planet for 2 days in a row. Let us know, you folks out there in the Colorado area, because that's pretty rough. And again, you're not, as far as thickness of smoke, you're kind of on the edge, but you can see it's building up. But up in here now, I don't know what kind of air measurements you guys are getting north of Michigan. Check that out. But somewhere in there, you're going to have problems breathing. You need to make sure that you're not outside very long. Check on your pets and plants, things like that. That's thick. But guys, we'll get a better update on the situation in the morning as the sun rises from the satellite information. But heed all the warnings on evacuations or watches. Don't wait if you're anywhere close to one of these big fires, and be especially aware of which way the wind's blowing. Go ahead and get everything ready. If you've got a bug out, have it ready where you can, and know you have a clear way out. Don't wait too long, but have everything ready where you can jump in the car, including your pets. Have them ready to be put into the car and get out of there. It's not worth it. Now, switching to a slightly different topic. Guys, you're looking at southern China. And the Yangtze River, I know it's hard to see in this. It's this blue line right through here. And down in this area is where you have the Three Gorges Dam. And we're going to talk about that, guys, starting at 8 p.m. Central Time on Paul Begley Prophecy. Paul's going to come in at 8. I'm going to call in, and then Mike from around the world is going to call in after that. And this is one of the things that I'm going to talk about. Paul knows some of the information. But the blue line is the Yangtze River. The red lines are fault zones, and got a lot of quakes that have happened here. And as they were filling this up during the 2000, as far as the Three Gorges Dam, the earthquake started to intensify because of that additional weight in the area. But we're going to cover that and some of the things that are being talked about by NOAA, about it has slowed the day down some because of that weight and where it's at on the planet, and the effect on the shape of the planet itself. But again, as they started filling it up and with all these fault zones, houses started to sink in areas. They have not had a 7 yet since they started it, but they've been in the high 6s. But right now, that was just with the weight that was behind the Three Gorges Dam, and under normal conditions when the dam is full. But right now, there's so much water upriver and downriver that the weight has probably tripled. And we're going to go into that, the actual amount of water that's stored in normal times. These two lines right here are highways. The smaller ones are railroads. And you already have massive flooding washing through these cities. And if the Three Gorges Dam, if it cannot hold or if it continues to be at maximum output, then Wuhan is the next city downstream, and it will end up all the way out going into the bays at Shanghai. But this highway that's washed out is as important as the Three Gorges Dam is. The Three Gorges Dam has acted kind of like the Panama Canal for that entire area of China. But if you lose one of your major highways in this mountainous region, you're in trouble too. So we're talking about an economic impact that they can't really deal with right now because they have a major commercial real estate collapse, kind of like we're seeing now. But we're going to go through that again at 8 p.m. Central. That's 9 on the East Coast, guys. That would be, I guess, on the West Coast, 6 p.m. Anyway, 8 p.m. Central Time tonight. Join us. This is going to be a very good show. Mike always has very interesting information, and I've got a couple questions I'd like to throw at him from the information I'm looking at about the situation in China. Again, this is the beginning of the Silk Road Initiative. It starts in China, and we're looking at the very core of that, although the tentacles now, because of expansionism, have reached around the planet. Remember in the 1400s, that worldwide expansionism was shut down by a comet, knocking out the fleet. It caused them to limp back home. They thought the gods were mad at them. They changed leadership, turned inward, and built the Great Wall of China because of those comets. I did a 3-video series called The Great Comets of China. This is their economic power now. Of course, they've got navies and all that, but inside China, you've got not only the ability to ship via the Yangtze River, but the ability to have 4-lane highways through there because it's going to go from truck to ship out into the Pacific Ocean or vice versa. So it's like God is looking at the things that have been going on, and things are happening just like that great comet. But we've been seeing all summer massive floods in China. And what's happening now, the dams can't deal with it. Some dams upriver have collapsed. The third largest lake in China, the levees have broke. We'll see more of that and talk about it on the show tonight. Join us again. Paul Begley Prophecy, 8 p.m. Central. I'll put a link below this. It's a heads up. Be safe.